Tonight, anguish in Israel after its military reveals 3 hostages it mistakenly shot were waving white flags. On the streets and from allies, pressure to pause the fighting as the situation in Gaza grows more desperate. Ottawa's plan to speed up electric vehicle production.
If they come out with a cheaper version, a smaller one, a 2-door convertible or something, I'm going to be first in line.
The push for all new cars to be zero emissions by 2035. Canadians are tipping more than ever before and in more places.
It does put you on the spot a little bit.
We break down whether tipping culture has gone too far.
This is The National with Ian Hennemansi.
There is growing pressure in Israel tonight to change course in the war. As the death toll in Gaza climbs, so too does the anger towards the government after 3 hostages were killed by Israel's military. At this funeral in Israel for one of the hostages, overwhelming grief. New revelations: they escaped Hamas only to be gunned down while calling out for help in Hebrew. They scrawled signs identifying themselves as hostages in what appeared to be leftover food. Katie Simpson shows us the outrage and the misery inside Gaza.
Eylon Shamraz's casket is placed in front of his family, so devastated they can barely look up. As the 26-year-old is mourned and remembered through music and prayer, it does little to soothe their grief. Shamraz is one of 3 hostages mistakenly killed by Israeli forces in Gaza. Authorities now saying the men called out for help in Hebrew as IDF forces approached. 3 people came out, this Israeli major general says. They took off their shirts so that no one would think they have an explosive device and held a white cloth on a pole to identify themselves. Signs reading SOS and help 3 hostages were found near where they were killed. These deaths have added to the intensity of protests in Tel Aviv.
I've never trusted this government, and now it's even worse.
Thousands in this crowd are united in their calls for hostage negotiations to resume immediately.
They must get them out with talking to the Hamas and with making some deal with them, not by bombing everything.
Israel's intense air and ground campaign continued through the weekend. Children are among the injured in Khan Yunis after a shell struck the maternity ward of a hospital. These scenes of desperation sparking a fresh push by the U.S. and other allies to urge Israel to do more to protect civilians. The U.S. Secretary of Defense is in the Middle East and will reportedly urge Israel to wind down some aspects of its military operation in the weeks ahead. It follows this op-ed, why the UK and Germany back a sustainable ceasefire. Too many civilians have been killed, say the foreign ministers of both countries. They do not support an immediate halt in the fighting, arguing it would only help Hamas. But they go on to support peace lasting for days, years, generations. We therefore support a ceasefire, but only if it is sustainable. Israel's prime minister is showing no signs of changing course. The will of the fallen is what guides us, he says. We will fight to the end.
Katie, the U.S. Defense Secretary, just the latest senior White House official to head to the region in recent days.
It's a part of a broader effort by the Biden administration to deliver a direct message to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to do more to protect civilians in Gaza. The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says nearly 20,000 people have been killed. Now, the Biden team has been changing its tone and is more critical of Israel's operations. However, it continues to support its ally. About a week ago, the State Department rushed the sale of $100 million in munitions to Israel, skipping the routine congressional oversight process. Ian.
Katie Simpson in Washington. Israel's military also released images of what it calls the biggest Hamas tunnel discovered in Gaza so far.
That's why we have to defeat Hamas. And it takes time, because when we need to demolish this kind of tunnels and reveal and demolish, it takes time.
Israel says it ends 400 meters away from an important border crossing close to where Hamas staged its October 7th attack, adding the tunnel was discovered weeks ago and that it's large enough to move vehicles through. Israel also said that for the first time, aid has crossed into Gaza directly from Israel. 79 trucks reportedly entering through the Kareem Shalom border crossing into Gaza's south. Before October 7th, 500 trucks entered Gaza there daily. The RCMP is warning parents and community leaders to be on the lookout for signs of radicalization after a teen in Ottawa was charged with terrorism-related offenses for an alleged plot against the city's Jewish community. JP Tasker looks at what we know about this case.
The RCMP say they've stopped what could have been a catastrophic attack on the Jewish community. Little is known about the terror suspect. The person is a minor and therefore shielded by a publication ban. It's alleged they instructed someone to carry out an attack with an explosive device.
The tension, the fear among Jewish residents is very high.
The city's mayor is promising more protective measures.
We've been increasing patrols around synagogues and other Jewish institutions.
Community leaders fear the threat is rising.
Anti-Semitism has skyrocketed since October 7th, and I've been saying it over and over again. If things aren't going to get better, they're going to get worse, and here they got worse.
The Mounties report an uptick in youth radicalization, saying in a statement there's a concerning trend of violent extremism and terrorist use of the internet. Since June 2023, the RCMP has arrested 5 young persons on terrorism-related offenses.
If the whole Israeli-Hamas conflict hadn't happened, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
This terrorism expert says the war and how it's portrayed on social media is driving some teenagers into the arms of recruiters.
You meet other people who share your point of view, who confirm it, who urge you on to do even more, get involved more in the ideas, to solidify your views. Legitimate it. Wow, look, I'm not alone. All these other people feel this way too.
Ottawa's Muslim community is on edge, says this local imam.
Whenever there is a threat against anyone, including our Jewish neighbors, that is deeply concerning to all of us.
Sikander Hashmi says the brutal scenes out of the Israel-Gaza conflict have stirred up anger and frustration.
Clearly, these types of horrific tragedies and horrific instances of war and pain and grief can certainly be used to try to radicalize young people. It's flooding their social media streams. We're not in a good place right now.
JP, police are raising awareness now about these threats, but what kind of action is being taken?
Ian, there's been a spike in hate crimes across the country. Hundreds of incidents have been reported to police since the October 7th attack, including dozens in Ottawa. The federal government has chipped in some $5 million to bolster security at religious and cultural sites, but community leaders say they need a lot more than that to keep people safe. Ian?
JP Tasker reporting from Ottawa. CBC News has learned the federal government will unveil new regulations Tuesday aimed at boosting electric vehicle sales. Aid wants all new cars to be zero emission by 2035. But as Yvette Bren shows us, hurdles remain.
The Canadian government is hitting the gas on phasing out gas-powered vehicles, leaving some drivers concerned.
What happens if your car dies while you're waiting for a spot to charge? There was a lot of questions I had that I just don't think are quite being answered at this point.
Among them, how can you get your hands on one? Some wait lists are long. Now CBC has learned the federal government will implement sales targets to speed up availability. Automakers will earn credits based on EV sales, extra if they push emission-free cars faster. By 2026, the government wants 20% of all new cars sold to be zero emission. That ramps up to 60% by 2030 and 100% by 2035.
This policy is very significant because it means that Canada will actually stay on the path towards net zero carbon emissions.
Some say it's about time.
When someone buys another gas car, they've probably been lost for 7 to 10 years. That's about how long people keep their cars. So it does really make a difference to start now.
Still, car makers are pumping the brakes. With Canada short tens of thousands of charging stations, they say Canadians need cash incentives.
We're calling on the government today to help Canadians make the switch to electric with the supports required.
Not just infrastructure, but more choice.
Requiring automakers to meet these sales targets will make them break EVs out of the luxury market and go more mainstream with more affordable mass market models, which is what we need in the fight against climate change.
If they come out with a cheaper version, a smaller one, a two-door convertible or something, I'm going to be first in line.
For now, many drivers are waiting or on a wait list for the perfect emission-free ride. Yvette Brand, CBC News, Vancouver.
Quebec emergency room doctors say they're facing a situation that is out of control and need the province to take action now.
It's still like every month is getting worse and worse. Most of the places, the hospital is full, so there's no place to put those people.
A letter to Quebec's health minister warns of overcrowding and wait times so long, some patients are choosing not to get care at all. Emergency department doctors also warn that 2 recent deaths in Montreal could be the tip of the iceberg. Winnipeg police are investigating after fake AI-generated nude photos were created of several girls at a local school. Nicole Williams shows us the growing problem and the struggle to fight it.
Right now, this Winnipeg school is at the center of a growing issue after fake AI-generated nudes of several female students were posted online.
It was very disturbing and I was shocked.
The school says the source images came from social media and then were doctored to be explicit. Police are investigating. A note went out to all parents Thursday, including this mom of 3 boys.
My jaw just kind of dropped after reading halfway through, and I was floored.
It's not clear who is behind the doctored photos, but the mother of one victim told CBC News they must be held accountable. Incidents like this are becoming common, with teenage girls often the target.
It made me feel violated. It made me feel unsafe.
Last week, a high school student in Miami had a nude photo of her generated and posted online by classmates. She spoke out with her identity protected.
Like, I don't want to be in a school with boys who did that, because I talk to them every day.
And experts say popular AI technology generates images that look hyper-realistic.
All it takes is just an internet connection and an image of somebody.
This cybersecurity expert showed us just how quickly it can be done. A publicly available photo online turned into pornography in just a few minutes.
Yeah, that is very uncomfortable.
The Canadian Centre for Child Protection works to identify explicit images of children online and have them deleted, and says parents need to start having conversations with their kids about AI.
It doesn't really matter whether or not it is actually the youth in the image or not. There is still that effect. They still feel like they're exposed.
Experts say it's a difficult problem to control, but suggest websites restrict the kinds of photos that can be uploaded, and that AI-generated images of child pornography be added to Canada's criminal code. Nicole Williams, CBC News, Toronto.
There is increasing concern about the number of Canadian seniors being reported missing. 3 provinces have seen an increase this year, and as Sarah Levitt tells us, there are fears it could get worse.
It's been an exhausting, anxious week for Doug Moberg. His 81-year-old brother Earl, who suffers from dementia, went missing in Winnipeg on Tuesday.
Well, we're doing the best we can. I mean, it's really hard. You never think this is going to happen to you or your family, but here we are.
And his family's not alone. As Canada's senior population grows, so too does the number of people diagnosed with dementia. The Public Health Agency of Canada now says at least 1 in 4 people over 85 have dementia, and with that comes an increased risk of confusion, even getting lost. Police in Montreal, Winnipeg, and Saskatoon have all seen an increase in reports of missing people over 60.
My father, he lived with Alzheimer's disease.
For Sam No, it's personal. 10 years ago, No's 64-year-old father, Shin, went out for a walk near his home in Coquitlam, British Columbia, and didn't return.
There was a massive search effort. We had our community go out and search for him, but we have no idea about his whereabouts. There's no closure even to this day.
No wants a public notification system called Silver Alerts used in Manitoba to be implemented in BC. It would alert residents to missing seniors in the area, but advocates say even more needs to be done.
While we have a national dementia strategy, we don't really have
collective programs or the awareness that we need.
Most people suffering from dementia will remain in their homes, not in assisted living.
The Alzheimer's Society of British Columbia has created an entire system that we're hoping that the rest of the country picks up on, which trains businesses and communities alike on how to recognize a person with dementia and how to help them.
As the population ages, she says, the problem will get worse and the time for action is now. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
At least 14 people have died in Argentina after a severe storm hit the Atlantic coast this weekend. It began Saturday and lasted through the night, with residents of Buenos Aires province being told to stay inside into this morning. Winds topping 150 kilometers an hour, downed trees, ripped off roofs, and cut power. People in Hamilton, Ontario are demanding answers after 24 billion litres of sewage leaked into a local creek. Cleanup efforts are underway, but as Ithil Musa shows us, some aren't happy with how that's going.
Hamilton resident Andrew Kamarni likes to walk along this creek, but lately it hasn't been so pleasant.
In the spring right through to the winter, and you can still see raw sewage periodically along the waterfront trail.
That's because Shadow Creek was the site of a massive leak. 24 billion litres of sewage and stormwater spilled into the creek for years, after a valve in the city's overflow system was left open.
I would like to see more accountability.
The city pleaded guilty to charges laid by the province and paid nearly $3 million in fines and damages.
This event really shook us and certainly the community as well.
Dredging of the creek was supposed to have been completed by the end of last year, but the project faced months of delays due to a dispute with the Haudenosaunee Development Institute, which wanted to be more closely involved. In November, the city finally removed about 16,000 tons of contaminated sediment from the creek at a cost of $10 million, enough sediment to fill 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. A landfill near Sarnia, Ontario, has agreed to take it all, but the province's deadline to truck all of this there by December 31st is quickly approaching.
Hopefully have this wrapped up certainly by the end of the year.
Others are not so sure.
It would be very surprising that the city would have this completed before the end of the year.
The city was initially dumping the contaminated sediment in a local landfill, but the province said it had to find another one because that landfill could not accept waste that contained sewage.
When you find something further away, it's going to cost more. So I think it's probably a good chance that we're going to see this project ending up going over budget.
But Borsuk says there may be one silver lining.
This whole scandal has really exposed Hamiltonians to how our relationship with water has evolved over the years, that we need to do a much better job going forward.
The city of Hamilton says it's doing a lot of work to make sure its waterways are protected and that spills like the one in Shadow Creek never happen again. Ithil Musa, CBC News, Hamilton, Ontario.
Religious restrictions are keeping some Canadians from investing for their future.
A lot of Muslims do not have a handle on what they can and cannot do.
How some are specializing in making the market more accessible. Plus, have prompts for gratuities reached a tipping point?
It's starting to feel more like an obligation, something that you just have to do.
The debate over shelling out for more and more services. And shifting away from sexual storylines.
Hi, mind if I touch your wiener?
What?
Dog.
Why some say sex no longer sells. We're back in 2. Pope Francis celebrating his 87th birthday today, surrounded by children from a Vatican-run pediatric clinic. The Pope has suffered some health scares this year, leading to some canceled events. Today, though, the Pope delivering his weekly address in St. Peter's Square and was serenaded by those gathered. From mutual funds to stocks, millions of Canadians depend on investments for their financial futures. But for some Muslims, religious beliefs limit their options. As Anis Hidari tells us, that's starting to change with halal investing.
Investing is as easy as heading to a bank for many Canadians, but not everyone.
I think a lot of Muslim community is shy of investing, period. If they're practicing, they're like, hey, we're not going to invest at all to begin with. And that is holding them back.
Many Muslims face restrictions on investing because the religion can ban profits from some industries. Investing in alcohol can be a problem, or in companies that charge interest on debt.
Because they didn't have any halal options available, I kept it all checking. So basically, I was losing money over inflation because it was not invested for many years.
It's something Muslim financial advisors are trying to change.
It's tough for us to keep up because there's a huge demand for what we do and the services that we provide.
Now some advisors are specializing in picking halal stocks, allowed for Muslims.
To be brutally honest with you, a lot of Muslims do not have a handle on what they can and cannot do, right? Because that's not what they do for a living, right? So majority of the Muslims do walk into an average bank, they put their money into investments only to find out they're completely 100% not allowed or not halal.
Take Loblaw stock. The store might sell halal meat, but the company is not a halal investment. PC Financial makes money from interest. But Visa and MasterCard, they are allowed. They just process payments. Those companies don't charge interest. Energy or gold companies are often okay too. Experts say making halal portfolios accessible helps newcomers as well.
As we create these vehicles for Muslims, it not only helps Muslims integrate into the broader society, benefit financially, but it also opens those facilities for new arrivals in these communities that are so very important as gateways into broader Canadian society.
Nearly 5% of Canada's population identifies as Muslim, around 1.8 million people who may have new options to invest these days. Anis Haidari, CBC News, Calgary.
Romantic movies might be in for a plot twist.
As soon as sex comes up, that becomes a really big, complicated issue.
Why some younger viewers are shying away from sex scenes. Plus, the growing sense of loneliness being felt around the world.
I was going down a very serious rabbit hole of depression.
What's behind that trend and the work being done to change it?
I want you to know that you've brought a lot of joy into my life.
And are Canadians tired of tipping?
Most consumers find it to be really annoying.
Why some say the practice has lost its way. The National breaks down the stories shaping our world. Next. Basketball legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is recovering after breaking his hip on Friday. The 76-year-old reportedly fell while attending a concert in Los Angeles. Paramedics rushed him to hospital where he had surgery and is now said to be doing well. Abdul-Jabbar played 20 seasons in the NBA, including 14 in LA, where he led the Lakers to multiple championships before retiring in 1989. Steamy love scenes have always been a big part of the movies, but that is starting to change as many younger viewers want to scrap the on-screen sex. Eli Glasner now, and what's behind Gen Z's push for platonic storylines.
Hi. Mind if I touch your wiener?
What?
Dog.
Innuendo and sexual content haven't exactly disappeared in 2023.
Magical moment.
Why do people not do this all the time?
Including in Poor Things, which finds Emma Stone on a sensual journey, but increasingly, movies with sex are the exception. A recent UCLA study offers a clue why. Nearly half of those aged 13 to 24 said sex in TV and film is unnecessary and romance overused.
As soon as sex comes up, that becomes a really big, complicated issue.
This writer wonders if shows like The Idol are part of the turnoff.
There were so many sex scenes that were so, gratuitous and grotesque almost and unnecessary.
And this, too, from the survey.
51% want more friendships and platonic relationships. Now, I'm surprised. How surprised are you?
Not very.
This pop culture writer chalks it up to isolation.
We had the pandemic, which was
all loneliness, all the time.
She says young people want their media to model healthy relationships.
I think when we talk about it as like this Puritan idea of the youth are so conservative, the youth don't like sex, but I don't think it's as much about that as it is for what you're saying, this hunger for community.
I do sexual things, but not like yet.
The upcoming Canadian film Fitting In certainly has sex on the brain. The director was excited to see Emma Stone in Poor Things. She thinks rejecting assumptions is what Gen Z is doing.
They have, I think, thankfully been able to question whether a romantic or sexual relationship is the be-all, end-all that we have been sold.
Despite that, many creators hope movies will remain a safe place to explore what sex can mean to us. Eli Glasner, CBC News, Toronto.
Now we break down the stories shaping our world. Doctors say loneliness is a major problem that can have an impact on your health.
I was going down a very serious rabbit hole of depression.
And treatments can save lives. We'll show you what doctors say can help with the feeling of isolation. But first, Canadians are asked to tip more, why we often say yes. This is The Breakdown.
I was at a gift shop the other day and they asked for a tip.
It's not just where you tip, but how much.
Huh? Do they really expect something that high?
So is it time to change?
I think overall tipping should be abolished.
So more and more people are feeling the same, but Omar Dabagi Pacheco finds out that is easier said than done.
Trying to figure out if tipping has gotten out of control.
No comment, but yes.
It's like kind of like taxes, because you pay for your food, you get taxed on your food, and then you expect to tip. I think overall tipping should be abolished.
It's starting to feel more like an obligation, something that you just have to do.
I know it has gotten a little bit higher, but so has the cost of living.
Even if I get bad service, I still tip well.
Discomfort at the till? Maybe you're guilt tipping because the debit machine suggested it. Are you over tipping? What kind of a tipper are you when you're out?
25%.
45%. Canadians, we're polite, or maybe we're just afraid of things getting a little bit awkward. But in the last few years, our average tipping behavior has gone way up, and so have the places where you're expected to tip.
Like, do I tip my oil change guy, or because there is an option? And those
Tip the oil guy?
I tip the oil guy. Yeah. I do.
Canadians are now among the most generous tippers in the world. By some, admittedly, rough estimates, we're tipping $9 billion a year. And when 18, 20, 25% extra has become the norm, where do you draw the line? What's tip culture in Brazil?
It's only 10% usually, and it's only in restaurants, so I think it's very different from here.
What was your reaction to seeing our tip?
I was a little bit shocked. It's very expensive to go out here. I found it, yeah.
I feel guilty if I don't give, I feel like 15% is cheap, so, 20% is generous, but that's a substantial amount. But yeah, it does put you on the spot a little bit.
So if it's saying 20%, I should be given 20%, or if it's saying 60%, that's what I should be giving. And if you go under that, then it kind of feels not great.
What she's talking about is tipping fatigue. Pollsters were looking into that earlier this year. They found 2 in 5 Canadians saying that extra cost of tipping was what was sending them over their spending threshold, and they just stopped going out.
So it kind of ends up not being a process of I am being good because you were good to me, and that reciprocal act.
You just tipped $5 on what?
Yeah. I think my total was 18. My tip, it is coming from me. I'm not tipping for the sake of tipping. I'm tipping because I want to tip and it's coming from me.
Now, if you look at data from some point of sale terminals, before the pandemic, the average tip in Canada was about 16%. These days, though, it's roughly 20%. So the expectation is more money at more places.
Tip creep. So that's where tipping is not only in restaurants to your person at the hair salon and the pizza delivery person, it's also, your dry cleaner, your oil lube person. I was at a gift shop the other day and they asked for a tip when I was just paying for some candles. Consumers are also not only feeling fatigued, they're also questioning what tipping, is it what it used to be about originally? And no, it isn't.
I think most consumers find it to be really annoying. I think we have all had the experience of being handed the chip card reader, and we look at the choices and go, huh? Do they really expect something that high?
Not just annoying, but researchers say tipping is where our biases come in. They find many people are tipping based on their server's age, race, gender, or looks, especially when you're asked to tip at the till before you even receive your product at the counter.
It's been shown to be discriminatory. It creates inequity, which my research shows. It can create divisions in restaurants between front of house, back of house.
It all makes for a really uncomfortable social interaction for a lot of people, and it can make things awkward behind the counter too.
Hey Emilio, how's it going? Get real with me here though, because like as a customer, you come here, if you skip that tip option, you know, you feel guilty as a customer. What are you thinking at the other side?
So me personally, I like to back up a little bit and just sort of like, you know, like my own business, you know what I mean? Just act like, you know, I don't know what they're doing, and that's it, you know. And I feel like it kind of works. Like people feel, because if you just kind of stand here and you just kind of like watch them put in their tip, then they're really gonna feel kind of awkward. So I just kind of back up and let them do their thing, and if they want to tip, then that's cool, and if not, obviously that's cool too.
Before the pandemic, 40% of Canadians said that they would prefer a service-included model. By this year, though, nearly 60% said it was time to go tip-free. That kind of habit, though, it takes a huge systemic shift in thinking to break.
If we start with maybe going a little bit back to that whole, it's actually a process of thanking that individual, that might be a good first step.
I imagine your server will get a nice tip.
Of course, already done. And I like to leave little notes when and so we do thank you, a little drawing, because why not?
We spoke to a lot of people for this story, a lot of them obviously for tipping, but a lot of other people were against it. The thing is, they said they didn't want to admit that on camera because they didn't want to sound cheap, and they didn't want to be judged by their friends and colleagues, which is maybe part of the reason that even though a majority of Canadians seem to be against tipping altogether, it's probably here to stay.
Let's get some more analysis from an expert you saw in that story. Bruce McAdams is with the University of Guelph. He's been researching tipping and how it's evolved. And Bruce, let's pick up on a point you made in that story. You said tipping is no longer what it used to be about. So what has it become?
Yeah, tipping. You know, we have grown to know tipping as a reward for good service, and really lately, you know, in the last decade or so, with tip creep, you know, places asking for tips that traditionally wouldn't do so, with tipflation, this idea of people asking for more tips or as being expected to do more tips. We're really questioning tipping and like we never have before. And one of the big things that consumers have come to realize is that really what it comes down to, tipping is a wage subsidy. And this is actually why a lot of new places, non-traditional places, are asking for tips now, is to help attract labor, which there's a shortage in hospitality and retail labor across the country. So it's really not what we grew up or accepted it to be as a social norm. It's really evolving.
You know, it's tough on customers. It creates confusion and guilt and resentment sometimes, but it feels to me like it's tough on those workers as well. If it's meant as a wage subsidy, it doesn't seem right to leave it to random choices made by consumers to help bring their wages up.
And what we're seeing is not only are consumers wanting to move to no tipping models, we're also seeing workers and hearing from workers that saying, you know, at the end of the day, it would be great to move to a model where I knew what I was going to make. You know, from the consumer side, it would be great to be charged for the product and not have to worry about any additional thinking or the guilt of not leaving a tip or et cetera. So, yeah.
Yeah, and to that point, we talked to a restaurant worker about, you know, how do we fix this issue? Here's what she said.
It's not fair for servers to have to rely on tips from people in order to make rent.
What do you think the logical fix for it is?
There's a couple restaurants in the city that already do it where they don't tip, but they increase the prices of their menu and pay their servers a livable wage.
So, Bruce, you know, that really picks up on the point that you were making. What's the likelihood that we'll see more of that? Higher prices, no tipping?
We are seeing more of it. We've seen tipping in restaurants in particular move from tip sharing to tip pooling, and in many cases, service charges, or as the server there that was speaking said, the price inclusive or the service inclusive model, which is really something that is global in acceptance. North America is really on its own as far as having the tipping culture that we do. So this idea that moving to such a model wouldn't work is really a false claim.
In Omar's story, we heard a lot of people who say they still tip a lot. We have 30 seconds left, but what do you think is driving all the tipping Canadians do? Is it because we're nice, or we're feeling guilty, or what do you think's behind it?
That's because we expect it and we've accepted it as a social norm. Coming out of COVID, we actually increased the amount that we were tipping. But now what we're seeing with inflationary times, we're seeing perhaps a little bit of a decrease, as well as the fatigue in tipping is being felt around the country as people are telling us Canadians aren't tipping as much as they were 6 months ago.
Well, I appreciate that you're studying this and that you are generous with your time. It's great talking to you, Bruce. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian.
The quality of our relationships could be hurting our health.
You can be connected, communicating with a lot of people, but not have a connection.
Why so many are lonely and how some are trying to help. Many Canadians say they're lonely and the feeling can be crushing.
I was running out of runway.
Doctors say it's bad for your health.
So the way you know you feel lonely is it hurts.
And treating it is critical.
They actually saved my life.
But what does treatment look like for social isolation? Christine Birak discovers how reconnecting can be simple yet powerful.
A recent survey found roughly a quarter of people in the world say they're feeling lonely, even when surrounded by other people. Loneliness is a state of feeling you're at the edge of society, unable to easily talk or relate to others. And it can have huge implications.
The World Health Organization has declared loneliness a pressing public health threat across all age groups. Studies show it's as bad for you as smoking and obesity, raising your risk of anxiety, depression, heart disease, dementia, and early death. So why are people feeling so lonely, and what can be done to fix it?
You can be connected, communicating with a lot of people, but not have a connection. So the way you know you feel lonely is it hurts.
Dr. Jacques Lee is an emergency room doctor at Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto. He's seen firsthand the devastating impacts of social isolation, having too few social contacts, and loneliness on his patients during the pandemic. He's now studying ways to reconnect people, but adds it's not a new problem.
It was always there. It was there before COVID.
Scientists say the quality of our in-person interactions have been deteriorating for decades. Take this example. You probably remember a time when you picked up the phone and called someone to wish them happy birthday. Then, many of us switched to sending a text message. Now, it might just be a post on a social media wall that says HBD. Experts insist the quality of our interactions need to be more meaningful.
There's a huge long list of things that can work, and I think what it is coming up with something that's easy to start, that's cost effective, and that's scalable.
I think they actually saved my life.
After a bad fall landed her in hospital, Elaine Daw was asked to take part in one of Dr. Lee's loneliness trials.
I was going down a very serious rabbit hole of depression, sadness.
In the years following a sudden job loss, Daw says she lost confidence in herself. A once vibrant life full of friends and gatherings slowly grew dark.
it just seemed I was running out of runway, and I was trying to deal with aging.
Then a box arrived from Making Art, Making Change, filled with supplies and an opportunity.
I'd never painted before.
It connected her with a group of other patients, a space to learn, laugh, and cry together.
I love you guys. I want you to know that you've brought a lot of joy into my life, really.
In their final session, Dr. Lee dropped in to say thanks.
I'm already excited to hear these testimonials.
At the same time, he's overseeing another study, which includes Andrew Taylor, a volunteer at Mount Sinai Hospital.
Hi, can I help you?
I'm trying to find how to get to the NICU.
Based on age and shared interests, Taylor's part of a trial connecting hospital volunteers with recently discharged patients.
Patients who are assigned to volunteers, such as myself, are given an iPad like this on loan with a preloaded app called A Touch Away. Makes it very easy for them to connect with us during the weekly video calls.
Taylor calls a patient at an agreed-upon time over 12 weeks to talk about everything from sports and cars to travel. The trial isn't over yet, but we asked Taylor, how's it going?
It's good, and to the point where I kind of wish it didn't end. I live alone too, and so I get as much out of it, I think, as some of the patients.
Scientists say that makes perfect sense.
Lonely people have very distinct brain variations compared to non-lonely people.
Kimia Shafke studies our brain on loneliness at McGill. Part of her research shows loneliness lights up default networks in the brain, often used to ruminate about people and the past and imagine social interactions.
Social interactions are at a core of who we are and what distinguishes us from other species. Our ability to work together and communicate and pass on knowledge is really intricate and very important to how we coexist.
Considering what's at stake, Dr. Lee says physicians need to start asking patients whether they feel lonely. He hopes results from his studies can one day offer new tools for combating loneliness.
If we don't treat an important social determinant of health, outcomes are going to be bad, and we're not going to be able to afford to take care of people.
Daw is now reconnecting with old friends and making new plans.
I came to the conclusion, and it took me 75 years, the conclusion that I am enough. It was the first time in my life.
Hello.
Hi, Eva. How are you today?
She says it's not always easy, but she now understands she's truly not alone.
I'm looking forward to talking to you and seeing how your life turned out.
Christine, you mentioned the World Health Organization is worried about all age groups. What are we seeing in young people?
The ground is really shifting. The latest survey in Canada showed nearly a quarter of those aged 15 to 24 say they often or always feel lonely. Just for reference, seniors over 75, it was 14%, which means social interactions between young people are strained. They're not talking to their friends. I don't want to blame social media, but something is being lost in those communications, and young people are feeling it. The U.S. Surgeon General is leading a global task force on this, and he's offered some tips for the holidays. Reach out to people you know just to catch up or let them know you're thinking about them. Have tech-free time in your day and talk to people face-to-face or over the phone. Make contact. Sounds simple enough, but we didn't even grow up with all this tech, and it's tough for me to put it down. But the data show it's taking a serious toll on our health, and it's preventable.
And some really good advice in there. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Coming up, manning the crease at 81 years old.
You don't get old by playing. You get old if you don't play.
The man proving age is just a number in our moment. This might look like your average rec league, but inside the crease, a unique talent. Gerard Smith, 81 years old, known as Smitty, and still making clutch saves. Smitty didn't learn to skate till he was 16. Now he's making up for lost time. And tonight, his dedication is our moment.
Can I call you Smitty?
Sure, everybody else does. I mean, it'd be no good coming out here if you didn't get shot at. I mean, yeah, some go by you, some hit you, it's all part of it.
I think it's just phenomenal that at his age, at 81, he comes to the rink every day. He's telling us young fellas that age is just a number.
The level that he competes at is much like a teenager, but he's up, he's down, he's making the saves, and there's nothing he hates worse than being scored on.
Well, most of these guys, I either coached them in hockey or had them in school. I'm still pretty competitive, but you know, there are times you have to realize who you're playing with.
A lot of times we'll chirp the other team and say, it's too bad you can't score at an 81-year-old.
I enjoy coming to the rink. It's my exercise. Good camaraderie with the guys. You don't get old by playing. You get old if you don't play.
He looks fantastic. He is an inspiration, especially for all those recreational athletes. I know a few, wondering how many years we have left playing. So thank you, Smitty. And thank you for being with us. You can watch anytime, anywhere on the free CBC News app. I'm Ian Hannah-Manson. Good night.